Hey everybody, and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your life, your business, your health and fitness, body and mindset from where you are to where it is that you want to be. Today we're going to talk about sleep. Now, I often get asked, how much sleep should I be getting? How much quality sleep do I need? And I'm going to say the answer to that is, even though I could give you some generics, it depends. And let's start it this way. I've got two teenage daughters. They need more sleep. Their bodies are growing, their bones are growing, their muscles are growing. Everything is growing in their bodies. So they need more sleep to be able to allow their bodies to grow because their bodies are working really hard. So what does that mean? Well, for them, they probably need 10 hours sleep. 8 to 10 hours sleep is probably what they need in order to be able to allow the growth process to happen nicely. For many years, for myself, as a grown adult, I find that I can get by on about 6 hours sleep. And I think if you are a top 1% person in what it is that you do, business, etc., then what you want to do is make sure that you're sleeping the minimal amount, but where you can still perform at your absolute optimum. But if you're like me, you don't want to waste the time sleeping. Like, life's too short. I wouldn't sleep if my body didn't need it. I would just keep working because I think, man, there's that extra 6 hours that I could be working. Imagine what I could achieve in that 6 hours. But my body says, no, Rob, you need to sleep. So I sleep. Now, having said that, I've gotten by on that for a number of years and it's been really fantastic. And I say to people, I have said to people in the past, look, if you tell me that you need, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours sleep and you're an adult, I say then sleep faster because you're missing out on an opportunity to work with that 4 hours or 2 hours or 3 hours or 1 hour of time where you could be moving yourself forward, moving your career forward, growing your business, working on your body, working on your health. Because let's face it, most people say, I don't have time. I don't have time to do that. Well, sleep less and use that extra time where you would have been sleeping, but you're actually now up to work on those goals that you want to achieve, those dreams, those things that are really important to you to take you from where you are to absolutely where it is that you want to be. Now, having said that, this year I'm approaching sleep a little differently. So my strength and conditioning coach, he says, in order for me to be able to achieve what I want to achieve, he says, I need to rest more. He said a couple of things. One, because of my age as well as I'm getting older, he said it's going to take you longer to recover between these hard sessions that you're doing. So you need to sleep more. And in fact, he's given me this rule. He said, if you've slept and you think you've slept enough, sleep some more. So he wants me to sleep through the day, have a little nap through the day, as well as having a good night's sleep. So in my peak of my training, that means getting to bed by 9:30. Really, really important to value the number of hours sleep that you get before 12 p.m. That's really important. 12 a.m., sorry. That's really important. So then, because I've been getting up at 20 past 4 or 5 o'clock, 5:30, then that means if I'm not in bed by time, then I don't have enough hours sleep. So right now I'm averaging about 6.5 to 7 hours sleep, I guess, a night, and I feel better rested, but I'm still having like a 20-minute nap during the day because my schedule is pretty full on, and I guess with the nature of the training that I do, it means that my body's working hard, and it means in order for me to grow and achieve the things that I want to achieve for my body this year, I need to suck it up and rest more. And that challenges me because the last 2-3 years I've been working so hard to condition myself to getting up at 20 past 4 and just getting stuff done. So now I just have to structure it a little bit differently and maybe delegate some more work so that I can achieve the things that I want to achieve, as well as the body that I want to achieve, as well as making sure that I'm resting sufficiently so that I can allow my body to grow and repair. Because you can't work on an empty tank. You can't, I can't grind myself into the ground, drastically reduce my sleep and expect to get a completely different outcome than I want. So it's really, really important. So when it comes to a high performance athlete, you talk about, or you hear them talk about what's important to them. And let's take the Tour de France, because most people can relate to that. It's a 3,000 plus kilometre bike race, back to back. I think they have 2 rest days, and they're racing like somewhere between, well, let's take out the time trials, which are shorter, but somewhere between maybe 170 kilometres, maybe on a mountain stage, to 200 plus kilometres a day. And they're racing it at a phenomenal pace. And so as soon as they get off the bike, what do? They put on the compression socks, they put the legs up, and they feed themselves well, and they rest. They have to rest as much as possible. And this is why one of the things, I know in the Australian Olympic team a number of years ago, there was this big issue about Stilnox and the athletes taking Stilnox. Now that is a prescription sleep medication. I've taken it before when I've travelled overseas. I get a prescription for it. I take it when I'm on the plane. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But when I get to the other end, like that night, I will take one, so I make sure that I sleep through very well. And what that does, it helps me, probably within 2 days I'm back to a normal sleep pattern and I don't need to take it. But it helps me drastically avoid jet lag. Like, it works really, really well. I do the same when I come back home as well. Now for the athlete, the biggest thing that they do with their training and their competition, they need rest so that they can perform better each time they go out and perform, or they can perform at their peak. So they need to get rest. And of course, let's say that they're at the Olympics. They've got a final coming up. Imagine yourself, you've competed in a number, let's take swimming for instance. I think they have heats, then they have semi-finals, or maybe there's a couple of races. Maybe there's a heat, maybe there's a quarter-final, maybe there's a semi-final, and then there's the final. So 4 times. Now, can you imagine the night before the final when all you need to do is sleep, but you're thinking you're a hot chance to win an Olympic gold medal tomorrow night, or, just tomorrow? That's going to make it tough to sleep, right? So they sometimes get some help by using something like Stilnox to help them sleep. Now, I don't know whether that's allowed now and whether the furor that they had a number of years ago, whether that knocked that on the head. But the point is, elite athletes recognise the importance of sleep and rest because their training schedule is grueling, the competition is grueling, and depending on which sport it is more physical. It's mentally taxing as well, and they need to just let themselves chill and relax and allow their bodies to recover, because our bodies are not designed to not switch off. So we need to switch them off. So I mention that because when you are aiming for the highest performance in what it is that you do, then it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's an athletic performance, whether it's what I'm doing to stack on muscle and get the best shape of my life again this year, then, or whether you're about to speak in front of 1 billion people, or you're about to start writing a book, or running a business, or you've got to fire someone, or you've got to hire someone, if you're going to be at your absolute best, then you need to be well rested. You need to be well fueled as well. And the sleep is just such a key component in everything that you do. Now, to ensure that you remain a top 1% performer, or you get into that top 1% performer, just so that you put yourself in the best possible place. Now, for this year, my biggest challenge is going to be sleep, because no matter how much I get, my coach is going to probably tell me that I need to get more. You need to sleep more, Rob. Sleep more. And I will try to sleep more and schedule more time and try to get to bed earlier. But it's tough given my schedule, and also because of my schedule, and still wanting to be there for the kids. And this year their homework is taking a step up, so it means I'm going to have to help out more, and to free up my schedule to do that, it's going to be later in the evening. Excuse me. So that's going to make it, pardon me, I've got the hiccups. That's going to make it even more challenging for me to do it. So I recognise the importance of it though. And so I'm going to keep working on it, because it's something that I haven't really worked on before. I've always slept pretty well, but it has been around that 6-hour mark or even less on some days. And so adding in an extra hour to 2 hours a day for me, that's a big step up. So it means that I've got to also not beat myself up around what I'm not doing with those 2 hours. So let's see. We'll go on this journey together, and I'll let you know how my sleep is going. So for you, I want to make sure that you are getting a consistent amount of sleep each night. I want you to make sure that you're doing all the right things around your food, your drinking of water, your exercise, and not just doing cardio exercise, but doing strength exercise as well. And then when it comes to your sleep, make sure that you are going to bed at approximately the same time every night. Make sure that you've got a really nice routine to have you unwind, switch off. It's so easy to be looking at your phone all the way up to the time you go to sleep, put it next to you, etc., etc. I mean, I have an iPhone, and the good feature on that is there's a bedtime. It's in the clock setting, but a bedtime feature. So what you can do is you can schedule a reminder for you to go to bed. So you get a 10-minute reminder at 9:20, which tells me that I need to go to bed. I set up the number of hours sleep in there. So it's normally to wake me up at 5 or 5:30, and it switches the phone off. It doesn't power it down, but it puts you on Do Not Disturb. So any messages, any phone calls, any noises that come through your phone for Facebook or anything else, they don't come through, and you can see them the next morning. And the other thing that's important is, if you didn't know this, don't sleep with your mobile phone in the room. Okay, now I have an alarm, like that alarm that I said, but it's in another room, so it's in my ensuite, it's not in my actual bedroom. And so it's at least 1 metre away from my head. And so what does it mean? The alarm goes off, I've got to get out of bed to go and switch it off, which means, okay, now I'm up. Otherwise the alarm is really annoying. Now, why is it important to sleep with the phone more than 1 metre away from you? Well, even though the telecommunications company haven't been found guilty of any of their devices causing cancer or anything like that, I don't know, maybe we'll see it in another decade or two, that some cases will come out with people having illnesses from it. But many years ago, I did this survey, which it had about 100 questions in it, and it was very detailed, asking you a whole range of lifestyle questions, and it was going to work out an estimate of how long you were going to live. And it was very long, it was very detailed, very good questions. And so I did it twice. Once as normal, and then once where the phone was less than a metre away from me, and that was the only thing that I changed. And it took 5 years off my life. I think it was about 5 years off my life. I thought, wow, obviously there's some evidence out there to indicate that sleeping so close to your devices is not a good thing for you. Being surrounded by Wi-Fi all the time is also not necessarily a great thing. So I make sure that I have an iPad, a very old one, in my room, and I make sure that that's switched off, like actually powered down each night, and the phone's in, I don't power that down, but it's charges in the other room, along with my watch and everything. It's all in another room, just because I don't want to take any chances. I think it's a good thing that it's not necessarily just right there at arm's length, so we can quite easily have a break from it, even though it's a part of me. I mean, I wear one all the time, apart from when I'm in bed, which is my Apple Watch. I have I'm in front of a computer a lot of the day, and my phone, I carry it with me pretty much everywhere. So we're constantly surrounded by it. It's a part of us, but it's all right to let it go as well. So I think it's important to have that nighttime down sequence, wind down sequence, where you don't check your emails before you're about to go to sleep, or your messages, or any of that kind of stuff, or Facebook stuff, because it's just it's got the potential to just get you worked up and feeling not great about what it is that perhaps that you need to do. So I've got a really good sequence of I have a shower, I clean the teeth, and do all that kind of stuff, jump in bed. Maybe I'll watch a little bit of TV for a bit. Maybe I'll do a bit of reading. Maybe I'll look at something on YouTube or something like that on my iPad. That's not too heavy, light stuff. And then I'll power everything down, take out my contact lenses, switch off the lights, and kind of just relax, unwind for like five minutes or so, and then I just drift off. I'm experimenting with pillows at the moment to make sure that my neck is in a nice, comfortable position for my sleep as well. Haven't mastered the pillow yet, because the old one I had is not quite working. But again, all this stuff sounds really simple, okay, and maybe stupid, and I'm stating the obvious here, but you got to have the right mattress, the right sheets, so that you feel comfortable. You're not, the right climate. For instance, I can't sleep with a doona on. My bed has a doona on it, but I throw the doona off, and I use a woolen blanket, because I find that it breathes better for me and I don't overheat. And just making sure that I'm completely comfortable. So you'll have your own way of doing it. I just want you to focus on your sleep and recognize that it's such an important part of your health and your fitness and your transformation. And it doesn't matter what it is that you're aiming for. If you want to be in the top 1% of health, business, sleep is so important for you. And let's just make sure that you're getting quality sleep regularly. Stay safe wherever you are in the world. And if you want to connect with me, go to thementaltoughnessandbodyshow.com. Opt in for your free consult there, and I'd love to connect with you. Until tomorrow, see you then.